Hush. It's recording.
It's recording. Encouragement. Anyways, encouragement is not something naturally found in a person. It's not something naturally found. Love must be present. A caring attitude. Love. It has to be love in action. I went over and I read 1 Corinthians 13, the 11th chapter, and I was trying to find a relation to encouragement and love, because I like the way the King James says it. It says charity. It uses the word charity in place of love. Or maybe it's the others use the word love in place of charity, because actually the word love alone is not a complete definition of what this is talking about, because this literally says love in action. That's what charity is. When we give, when we have the act of giving, it's love in action. Like 1 Corinthians 13:4 says, charity suffereth long, and is kind, and envieth not, and is not puffed up, does not behave itself unseemly. See, this is love in action. It's a deeper definition of exactly what this love that God has for us is talking about. And 1 Corinthians 13:8 says, charity never faileth. Now, and I want to just like extend that a little. Charity doesn't see any doesn't see a failure in anyone else either. It doesn't. When you see, I was watching a movie, and a couple times God has reminded me of this just today, and that's why I decided to do the video on encouragement today, because we as a child of God, we need this. We need it. We need to encourage one another. We need to tell each other things are going to be okay, and not to worry about things. God's going to take care of it. God's going to handle it. He's going to fight on our behalf. The Bible literally tells us, hold our peace, and the Lord will fight for you. Hold your peace, and the Lord will fight for you. And that's what it does. That's what God does. God grabs a hold of your enemy, He wrestles him to the ground, and He squeezes him until his blood runs out. Listen, if God be for you, who can be against you? And David knew this. This is what David said. 1 Samuel 30, verse 6. 1 Samuel 30, verse 6. It says, and David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him. This is King David, king in Israel, reign in Jerusalem. Okay, they spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his son and for his daughter. But David encouraged himself in the Lord. You can't just do that thing. It's not like, well, I don't care what they think. That's not encouraging yourself like that. That's not encouraging. This is what David, when David went and he sinned, and he took the wife of Uriah the Hittite, this is David's words. And before you can understand what he's talking about here, about encouraging yourself in the Lord, you have to understand why David said the things he said about Uriah the Hittite. He said, Lord, he said, talking about God, he said, against you and you alone have I sinned. And that's a true statement. Why is that? Because God owns it all. God owns it all. He owns all of us. when you touch anything on this earth that belongs to God, you sin against God. You sin against God. All sin is against God. Okay? And when David said, when the Bible says David encouraged himself in the Lord, his God, it meant that he's laying this down in God's hands. Lord, you have to take over this for me. This is too hard for me. I can't handle it, Lord. Lord, you said I would reign, and you said these things about me, God, and this is your plan. It's not my plan. It's yours, and I have faith. God, I am following you in faith in all the things that you said that I could do. In all the things that you said that I could do, and that I'm going to do. This is your word, Lord. You promised if I followed you in this fashion, that you would not take me out of the seat in this house. That I would reign in the seat in this house. And Lord, I have followed you. And have faith and encourage yourself. And see, it don't just come. This is what I'm talking about. Encouragement does not come naturally. It is not a part of the cardinal nature. The cardinal nature says, step on him. He's down. Step on him. That'll help you go a little higher if you step on him. And while you're at it, knock that other fellow on top of him, and you can step on him and make you twice as high. That's the cardinal nature. Steal, cheat, lie, take. The cardinal nature. The Bible literally tells us that the cardinal nature is the enemy of God. It's the enemy of God. There is no encouragement in the cardinal nature alone. And if you only follow after this cardinal nature, man, you are a miserable person. If you never learn how to forgive, if you never learn how to look past people's faults, if you only look into your comfort for your cardinal nature for your comfort, then man, you are one miserable person. And not only are you a miserable person, but you make everybody around you a miserable person. There is no encouragement in the cardinal nature. It's only when you step into love. 1 Corinthians 13, charity faileth not. When you start caring about somebody. You know, with this little grandbaby that comes over here. She's got an earache again, don't she? Mm-hmm. When she comes around, she's such a rascal, you know. But I don't jump on her too much because she's stolen my heart, see. And this is the same thing love does for anybody. I don't care how pitiful, ugly, you know, that kind of people, they sort of seem to be drawn to me, or I'm drawn to them. Some friends of mine at church, they're not too swift, you know, but they're my friends. And I tell them, look, you can do this. You know, I just a month ago, not even a month ago, talked to a friend of mine into he hasn't had a pair of glasses probably since I've known him. But he finally went and got himself a pair of glasses. Now he can see. And and he finally looked at me the other day while we were in church, and I said, well, I hope that what you're looking at don't scare you. Now, you know. So, anyways, it was something like that. Conversation went. But we need encouragement. And before you can encourage, you first have to care. And when you start caring, it'll take you to this place of love and bring you to this magnificent place that God has talked about, that you can have a charity about you that will encourage one another. Amen. All right. God bless. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time. Another great message, Cross in the Middle Ministry.
Okay.